being swallowed alive. Darkness, the stench of decay, seaweed wrapped around your neck like a noose, and you're sinking deeper. Deeper into the belly of a creature so massive you can't see where its stomach ends. This isn't a horror movie. This is what happened to a man named Jonah. And the craziest part? He did it to himself. Let me take you back about 2,800 years to ancient Israel. There's this guy, Jonah. He's a prophet, which means God speaks to him and gives him messages to deliver to people. Pretty important job, right? One day, God comes to Jonah with an assignment. Go to Nineveh. Now, if you don't know Nineveh, picture the most violent, brutal empire of the ancient world, the Assyrians. These people were notorious. They burned cities to the ground, impaled their enemies on stakes, and skinned people alive as a warning. They were Israel's worst nightmare. And God tells Jonah, "Go there, tell them to repent, or I'm going to destroy them." Jonah's response? Absolutely not. But here's where it gets interesting. Jonah doesn't just say no. He doesn't argue. He runs. He goes to the port city of Joppa, finds a ship heading to Tarshish, which is literally the opposite direction, about as far away as you could get, buys a ticket, and sails off. He's trying to run from God. And honestly, I kind of get it. Would you want to walk into enemy territory and tell them they're going to be destroyed? So Jonah's on this ship, probably thinking he's home free, when suddenly the sky turns black, wind starts howling, waves the size of buildings start crashing over the deck. The sailors are freaking out. These are experienced seamen who've seen storms before. But this is different. This is supernatural. They start throwing cargo overboard to lighten the ship. They're praying to every god they know. And where's Jonah? He's below deck, sleeping. Can you imagine? The ship is literally breaking apart, and this guy is taking a nap. The captain finds him and screams, "How can you sleep? Get up and pray to your God. Maybe he'll notice us, and we won't die." The sailors decide to cast lots, basically roll dice to figure out who's responsible for this nightmare. And guess whose name comes up? Jonah. They surround him. "Who are you? What have you done?" Jonah finally confesses, "I'm a Hebrew. I worship the God who made the sea and the land, and I'm running from him." The sailors are terrified, because if this guy's God controls the sea, and he's angry enough to send this storm, they're all dead. "What do we do?" They shout over the wind. Jonah looks at the waves, looks at them, and says something absolutely wild. "Throw me overboard. This storm is my fault. Throw me in, and it'll stop." The sailors don't want to. They actually try to row back to shore, but the storm gets worse. Finally, they have no choice. They grab Jonah, say a prayer asking God not to hold them responsible, and hurl him into the raging sea. The moment his body hits the water, the storm stops. Instant calm. The sailors are left staring at the flat sea, absolutely stunned. But Jonah, he's sinking. The water's crushing him. Seaweed is tangling around his head. He's drowning, and he thinks, "This is it. This is how I die." Then, from the depths, something massive rises beneath him. A mouth opens, and Jonah is swallowed whole. Now, the Bible just says a great fish. Some people think it was a whale. Others say maybe a giant grouper or some prehistoric creature we don't even have anymore. Doesn't matter. What matters is Jonah is inside this thing, alive. Picture it. You're in complete darkness. The walls around you are pulsing, breathing. The smell is unbearable. Rotting fish, stomach acid, death. You can't stand up. You can barely breathe, and you have no idea if you're going to suffocate, be digested, or just go insane first. Jonah spends 3 days in there, 72 hours, in that living tomb, and somewhere in that darkness, something breaks inside him. He starts to pray, and it's not a pretty prayer. He's brutally honest. He says, "I thought I was dead. I sank down to the roots of the mountains. The earth's bars closed around me forever, but you brought me up from the pit. He makes a promise. What I have vowed, I will fulfill. Salvation comes from the Lord. Then, on the third day, the fish vomits Jonah onto dry land. Just picture that for a second. He's covered in fish guts, stomach acid, probably bleached white from the digestive enzymes, reeking like death itself. And God speaks to him again. Go to Nineveh. This time, Jonah goes. He walks into this massive city. It takes 3 days just to walk through it, and he starts preaching. 40 more days and Nineveh will be overthrown! Now here's what's crazy. These brutal, violent Assyrians believe him. The king himself puts on sackcloth, sits in ashes, and orders everyone, humans and animals, to fast and repent. The entire city turns from their evil ways. And God? He changes his mind. He doesn't destroy them. You'd think Jonah would be happy, right? He just saved 120,000 people. But instead, he's furious. He actually says to God, I knew you'd do this. This is why I ran in the first place. I knew you were merciful and compassionate. Just kill me now. God basically responds, Really? You're angry that I showed mercy? Here's why this story has survived almost 3,000 years. It's not really about a fish. It's about running from what scares you. It's about how sometimes the thing you're running from is exactly where you need to be. It's about second chances, how even when you've completely screwed up, it's not over. And maybe most importantly, it's about how God's mercy is bigger than our prejudices, our fears, and our desire for revenge. Jonah spent 3 days in darkness before he got his second chance. Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes we have to hit absolute rock bottom before we're ready to do what we were meant to do all along. The question is, what are you running from? And how dark does it have to get before you turn around?